Welcome to the Artie's Attic Warehouse 13 Fancast, where a steampunk girl, a lifelong sci-fi fan, and a rocket scientist chat about the popular 2009 sci-fi series. There's never a dull moment with the agents dedicated to protect humankind from unexplained phenomena that manifest their powers in special objects. And there's all those friendships and relationships along the way. Grab a cookie while you can. Hope you don't smell fudge. Gear up with your Farnsworth, Tesla, and neutralizer, and let's have some fun by snagging it, bagging it, and tagging it. Welcome back to Artie's Attic. We're a Warehouse 13 fancast. I'm the Warehouse 13 janitor, on loan to help clean up a castle trash wedding. My name is SP.
Let's go.
Yeah, those chairs were rented, man.
There's rented chairs.
Those are rented chairs.
And introducing Artie's Attic lead agent and historian who secretly crashes Civil War reenactments as a Star Trek time traveler. It's Agent Shannon.
That was the coolest line. I love it. What's up, guys?
It's totally, yep, I could totally.
It's so me, right?
It's totally you.
And also joining us is the warehouse agent who is happier to see her Legend Maker's first edition than her ex-spouse. It's Agent Carolyn.
And just like that, I'm a 10-year-old again, just giddy over the things.
We are continuing our Warehouse 13 series discussion with the episode that premiered on August 1st, 2011, 10 and a half years before Paramount Pictures released Top Gun Maverick, and 11 and a half years before Captain Annika Hansen took command of the USS Enterprise. I'm referring to the Warehouse 13 Season 3 4th episode, Queen for a Day. The IMDb description reads, as Steve and Claudia seek Ulysses S. Grant's flask within a Civil War reenactment, Pete and Micah crash his ex-wife's wedding before a bee artifact gives everyone a hive mentality. Shannon, what a wonderful episode.
You know, not only did we get the Trekkie comment, but then you have an ex-Trekkie here. So, seeing 7 of 9, you know, Jeri Ryan was the guest star in this episode. I think she did a great. I want to say there's another episode where she's into, but can't remember what season that is. But I love this episode. I think it's fun. I think it's funny the way they interact. I think you're finally seeing an in-depth part of Pete's adult relationship with someone else. And they're like, oh, you're married?
You were what?
I love it when he's like, go upstairs. Go upstairs right now. Go upstairs.
Go upstairs. Go upstairs. And Artie, stop sneaking. Sneaking? I'm not sneaking. Sneaking.
So I thought this episode was great. It's ranks one of my top 5. Don't ask me the other ones at the moment. I can't think of them. I knew where you were going. I saw your eyes.
I mean, it has Civil War and history and Trek. So how could you not like
history
this
and Trek?
episode?
The only thing would be making it amazing if it was like Revolutionary War, which is my favorite. But you know, it's still cool.
So
it's still cool.
Amazing without H.G. Wells is still amazing.
Don't tie my hands. It's still amazing episodes without HG. She just enhances things.
Does enhance it, yes.
I looked at Jeri Ryan's IMDb, and it's actually pretty impressive. I had never really looked at her history before because I only knew her from Star Trek Voyager. She's been in a bunch. Now, her acting credits are only numbered in the 58, but they started in 1991. One of her first credits was an episode of Who's the Boss?
Really?
Yeah. As a guest star, you know, one episode. Yeah. I don't know anything about it. I just know that it was one of her first things. And then another one of her early credits was the 1991 version of The Flash.
Oh my goodness. I think I watched that too.
two episodes of Matlock. One episode of a show, I'm sure Shannon remembers it, but I saw it and I still didn't remember it. It was called Time Tracks. It was from 1994.
Oh, I think I watched that.
I've heard the name. I can't place anything about it though.
Yeah, I think I watched that. Didn't that have a guy? Is that the one with the?
I don't remember
I'm
anything
trying to
about
remember
Time
the
Track.
synopsis of that show.
It had to have been a short-lived show. Otherwise, I would have probably watched it. But it was smack dab in the middle of the time period where I couldn't have access to TV or didn't have time for it because of my military service. But it was, the star was Dale Midkiff. And let's see, the description is: a cop from the future is sent back to contemporary times to track down fugitives hiding in the past.
I loved that show. I absolutely loved that show.
It's called
I was
Time
sad when
Track.
it left. Yeah, it was really good. I mean, one of the funniest lines was he has this like computer lady that's his helper in back in that time. And back then they still did daylight savings time. Where he was from, they didn't do daylight savings time. And he woke up an hour late or something. It was one of the two. I can't remember. He says, "Why didn't you remind me?" She's like, "Well, I reminded you at 2 a.m. when it actually happened." He's like, "That's not very helpful."
Yeah, I don't remember that show. I mean, I think I remember the name, but I can't place anything. I must not have watched it. What year did it come out?
93 and 94. Her episode was 94. It was 2 seasons, a total of 43 episodes. And Trax is spelled Trax.
94. Carolyn, you and I were 93, 94. We're
still in high school.
Sophomore and junior.
We were still in high school.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I was working for a living already, so I didn't watch much TV. And Xena started the year I graduated, so that's when that came out. So
all right. Well, get back onto Jeri Ryan. She was in 2 episodes of Melrose Place.
I didn't watch that.
I wasn't big on.
She was in 8 episodes of Dark Skies.
Oh, good show.
She was in the 2000 movie The Last Man and the 2000 movie Dracula 2000.
I don't think I saw those.
And then she was in this little independent 101 episodes of Star Trek Voyager.
Independent.
Little bitty thing.
And after she made it big, the notable credits that I have down are 2 episodes of Boston Legal, 1 episode of Psych, 8 episodes of a show called Leverage. And that name sounds
Leverage
familiar.
is good.
Okay. I never saw it.
Yeah, I've heard of Leverage. I didn't watch it though.
And I think Psych was the 2 buddies that were friends, and they were like not really trained as cops, but he had the unique ability to solve crimes. I think that's what that one was.
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
I didn't watch it, but
she was in 2 episodes of Warehouse 13. So we're going to see her again next season, but that's going to be the last time.
That's what I was saying a while ago. I knew she was in another one.
5 episodes of a series that I really didn't like. It's called Helix. Did either of you 2 watch Helix on the Sci-Fi Network?
No.
Yeah.
I heard about it, I think, but
I didn't hear good reviews for it.
What year did that come out?
It happened like at the very end of all the runs and stuff like that. It was one of the last shows that I watched on Sci-Fi. I don't remember the year, but
I mean, it sounds familiar, but I think at that point I'd already given up on Sci-Fi.
You and me both, sister.
I probably had given up. It was 2014 and 2015 were her appearances.
I know I give it up on the Sci-Fi channel by then.
Right. And then she was in an episode of Arrow that I did not remember.
Really?
Yeah. She played Jessica Danforth.
Something got past you.
Season 4, episode 2, The Candidate in 2015.
Now, if she was in an episode of Defiance in 2015, we would have seen that one.
Well, I did see Arrow because I podcasted about it for all of like 8 terrible years that it was on. Well, 6 terrible years. But anyway, 3 episodes of the new MacGyver. And then...
Oh, I remember those.
Yeah, 25 episodes. I didn't think she did TV anymore. She did 25 episodes of Star Trek Picard.
You funny.
I see what you did there.
Funny,
I see what you did there. Those were fighting words.
Well,
Star Trek Legacy, man.
Shannon, if you don't remember, we actually podcasted on that. That was actually one of your first podcast. That was your first podcast back.
I remember asking you.
Yeah, after your brain injury. Yep.
After the head went.
Right. But her fiance, I guess, husband at the end of the episode is also somebody that we know.
Yes, he is. Look at Carolyn's face. We all can't see it, but when we air this, Carolyn's like, I know he is. I know he is.
Dark Matter.
Dark Matter. That's right.
3 from Dark Matter. He was in 39 episodes of Dark Matter. His name is Anthony Lemke, and he played Michael Martin here. But he has 93 credits going back to 1997.
Wow. Yeah, I think I only know him from Dark Matter and then things after that because I recognized him. I'm like, oh, Dark Matter.
There's not too many notable ones. He played a lot of one-offs, a lot of minor characters, but I wrote down some of the titles that actually sang to me. Maybe some of the others sing to you guys, but his first credit that I wrote down was one episode of La Femme Nikita.
I remember watching that one.
Yeah. One episode of Earth Final Conflict.
Ooh, I watched that show.
Don't think
I remember him in that.
He's unfortunately only in one episode of Warehouse 13, so this is the one and only time we get to see him in this show.
Well, what time did this came out in 2011? That was way before. That was way before Dark Matter. So
right.
Yeah.
He was in 5 episodes of Lost Girl.
You know what? I have seen. Okay. Are you shaking your head because you've never seen that one either, Carolyn?
Lost Girl? Yeah, I haven't seen that one.
Oh my!
I know.
How do I keep finding shows you've never seen?
Because I have no time.
There's a bit of that. Yeah.
I need a pause button on the world so that I can catch up on all these shows.
There's a movie about that. It was called Click. Yeah.
Yes, I know. But if I remember right, it didn't end so. It wasn't so good when he hit pause and the world kept going, but he had paused. So I don't think that's a good idea.
Lost Girl is a pretty good series. It's also done by the same showrunner from Winona, but I don't think it started off on the Sci-Fi Channel.
Yes, it did.
Did it?
Yeah.
Did it?
Of course it did. I watched it from the beginning. I watched the first couple of seasons before I'm out, just because I was getting upset about the Sci-Fi Channel at the time.
I watched the full series. I like it. And it's funny because we've always talked about when you look at so many sci-fi shows that we all gravitate towards that we watch, then you get to realize that there are people that play these characters. You're like, oh, I've seen that person on this show before or on this show before.
Yeah.
Just like
they're recycled everywhere.
There used to be everyone had at some point guest starred on SG1, right? Because it was all filmed in Vancouver or they're all filmed in Toronto. So you see the same acting pool from it. So Kat Burrell's been on Lost Girl. The doctor that played on Lost Girl was the computer, human, android, whatever, on Dark Matter.
Zoe Palmer, yeah.
Zoe Palmer.
She came from there.
That's the only reason I knew about Lost Girl was Zoe Palmer.
She came from there, but then she was also her and the girl that I can't think of her name, the main character.
The main character? Anna Silk?
Anna, yeah.
Or Anna?
Both of them,
I don't know.
Both of them are characters on Winona. Both of them come to the Winona Earp cons because they were both part of it, and because again, the showrunner is the same one. So, small world. But I mean, there used to be a time where you would see so many people like on SG1, like, hey, I remember them from the X-Files because they were all filmed in Vancouver. So I mean, it all really depends on when you get filmed up.
Lost Girl ran from 2010 to 2016.
Yeah, it's a good series. Back when Sci-Fi actually ran series for long periods of time.
It was only 5 seasons, but yeah, that's quite a run there.
Normally, after a while, it's only like 3 and done.
Or if 2. You get 3, yeah, 1 or 2. Now, Anthony Lemke was also in the 2013 movie White House Down, and he was in 3 episodes of it's a stupid series. I don't know any of the regulars on it. Blind Spot.
Really? It was in Blind Spot?
Yeah, 3 episodes of Blind Spot.
I watched that whole series, actually. It got pretty good there at the end. It had an interesting storyline that it continued on to be.
If anybody likes Sif in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, you were watching Blind Spot, because guess who Jane Doe was?
Well, yeah.
Jamie Alexander, who played Sif in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
That wasn't why I watched it, but yes.
That's totally why I watched it.
I figured as much. She's on your list, isn't she?
No, she's not. I
Really?
think she's a little bit overbearing for me. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I wouldn't not be in the same room with her, but I don't know if she's on the list.
Like me. You need a list like me.
My list is growing. We'll get there. I've never actually created the list before. It's right over here. I got it. It's on my mixer cover right here. See?
Nice.
That's a list. And you should know this mixer cover because you got one over there too.
Yep.
All right. So those were the two notable guest stars. There's a lot of other people that were in here, but none of them had IMDb credits that did much of anything except for one.
You didn't mention how long he was on Dark Matter.
It's on Dark Matter for 39 episodes. I did say that.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
From the
I wanted to hear it again,
end.
apparently.
Yeah, it was on the first episode. He was either the second or third character that we see in Dark Matter.
Well, he was what was his
He
number?
was three. He was three.
So he was the third one that woke up.
Okay.
That's how they numbered themselves, was who woke up first.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember if the girl was first or whatever.
A girl was number 2. That's why we call her 2 boss.
Yeah,
well, the other one was 5.
I can't
She
remember
was
who was
5.
1 though.
And Roger Cross's character was 6.
Who's one?
Who was
One we lost.
Oh, the guy that got
the
died.
guy that got killed. We lost one.
So he was the second one that we saw.
He was the first one we saw.
No.
Woke up.
Okay.
No, Anthony was the third guy that woke up.
All right.
Number 1 got killed at the end of, I think, season 2.
He was the tall, skinny guy.
He was the tall, skinny guy. He came back as like a different weird brother kind of thing. I mean, the mind of Joe is amazing. I love his stuff.
So Anthony Lemke in this as Captain, I believe, Michael Martin.
Captain?
Colonel?
He was no, he was Captain. She outranked him. So anyway, he was so straight-laced. He was the Boy Scout. And then you go to Dark Matter, and he's the scruffy-looking scoundrel over there. Yeah, and it's just the difference between the two. With
really big guns, Martha.
Yeah,
he's like Jane from Firefly. Yeah.
I'll be in my bunk.
Right. So anyway, like I was saying, there was one other IMDb credit of note, and you guys probably missed it. You probably went right over it because it's no speaking part. Matter of fact, no actual.
Was it the guy that was guarding their door where he was looking over the window, looking down at him?
Nope. He wasn't even. I'm giving you a little hint. She wasn't even like physically present. It was just a picture of her.
Jinx's sister?
Jinx's sister, Olivia.
Okay.
Was the headshot, the face was credited to Caroline Davernos, who was 39 episodes of Hannibal as Dr. Elena Bloom.
Oh, never watched Hannibal.
I know, but it was a huge series, and she was one of the main characters.
Okay.
And she is Jinx's sister.
Yeah, I mean, I liked the world building that we did get in this. We learn about Pete's past and his past that he's trying to make amends for due to his drinking and things, and wondering what could have happened. And then we learn about Jinx's sister and why he joined the ATF, because Claudia's, telling him everything about why she joined the warehouse and, the whole transdimensional thing. And then she realized she wanted to be a warehouse agent. And then she asked him, and he's like, well, you know my story, ATF, Artie's eyebrows, and I was a warehouse agent. She's like, yeah, but
he didn't mention why.
Hmm?
He didn't actually mention why he joined ATF for her.
Because his sister was killed by a stray bullet.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
He didn't actually mention that. That was just in the article that you see on the screen along with her picture.
I was going to say, because Artie's listening to them talking at the end.
Yeah, he didn't say it, but Claudia was reading it on the screen, so you could see it on the screen. So you did get some behind the scenes, and he explained to Micah why he was so reluctant to discuss his ex-wife, because he wanted them to know the happy Pete that they know and not the drunk Pete that he was. So he was trying to keep that all away. And well, as Claudia says, you can't run away from your past in the warehouse because it finds a way to find you. They do have a time machine after all.
Yeah.
What did you learn from this episode? Life skills. What did you learn?
That Trekkies like to crash Civil War parties.
Okay, there's one. Time traveling Trekkies.
You got your new mini Tesla. You got your stripper name.
Yep, mini Tesla.
Okay.
And that Jinxie's. And that Claudia is Laverne and Jinxie's is Shirley.
I thought that was funny.
Laverne and Shirley.
Yeah. I want to be a Laverne. Shirley. You are totally Shirley. Yeah. You guys aren't hitting on it. So there's two things you have here. So if you go to a wedding, you always take your Tesla. That's number one.
Always. And you thought we didn't need it.
So that's number one.
At least a mini Tesla.
The second life lesson that you learn here is you always transfer the tear gas from your old pants to your new pants.
That's in my other pants. The way he said it was so funny. That's in my other pants.
Yeah. Duh.
No, that's in my other pants. Oh, and we did learn also Artie's rule. Whatever can go wrong with an artifact will go wrong with an artifact.
Artie's law.
Artie's law.
Artie on cold medicine is hilarious. He's he's just totally stuffed up and totally loopy and whatever. But I will tell you this. He's already sneezing. He's already sick and everything. When they discover that the bee is missing, all of a sudden, any cold symptoms, they just leave him. He's just normal. He's like, oh my gosh. So the adrenaline from losing an artifact that he has no idea what it does actually scares the cold out of his system for a little while.
I like how Pete freaked out.
Yeah.
I like how Pete freaked out. He's like, no, this cannot be happening on her wedding. She's like, I think I did it on purpose.
And we did find out what happened to the scarab beetle. Remember the one that crawled into the ground? Artie was chasing that, trying to, who made this thing? Trying to put it back in its home while Pete's just sitting on the stairs, and he gets a call from
Jinx.
From Jinxie's and he says, talk to me, Goose. And Jinx is like, what?
Did no one ever watch Top Gun?
I'm like, how have you not seen Top Gun? Maverick.
Everybody has seen Top Gun.
Everyone.
Apparently not Jinx nor
Micah.
No, it was from
Claudia?
No, from the B&B. I always forget her name.
Oh, Lena.
Lena.
Thank you.
Jeez, come on now. Look, you're over here having a brain moment. It's these are you can't steal these from me, okay?
You know what? It's catching. I'm catching it over the waves. It's just, I'm catching it over the waves.
Brain moments. You can share them. I'll go. I'm okay. I'll share them.
As I said at the beginning, there was another Top Gun movie. It happened 11 years after this happened. Did either of you two watch Top Gun Maverick?
No.
I did.
I'm not a Tom Cruise fan.
It's actually a good movie. I'm a rocket scientist. I like reality. And I'm looking at this movie going, well, that can't happen. That can't happen. But I got drawn in to it so much that I'm like, okay, I'm just going to let it go. It was a good, fun movie.
It was. I liked it.
Tom Cruise movie I watched had Emily Blunt in it. And she's the only reason I watched the movie.
You would like this movie too, because there's somebody in this movie that you'd like too, Jennifer Connelly. Jennifer Connelly's on my list. Got it. Put it on my list right now.
I don't know who that is.
She's on the list.
Jennifer Connelly.
We don't have a pen.
Why do I know that name? Does she have black hair?
A pen?
Yes, she has black.
Jennifer Connelly.
I think she has
black hair. If she has black hair, then she's got to be on her list.
I can't think of her face. I know the name, but
she was in the Rocket Man or the Rocketeer. Excuse me. Let's see. What else. She was in A Beautiful Mind. She was in Snowpiercer.
Oh, was she in Hulk? Like the Incredible Hulk?
No. That's
a different one. Okay, Never mind.
The Day the Earth Stood Still. She was in Hulk. She played Betty Ross in Hulk.
Okay, that's what I thought.
The 2003 version, though, not the later one.
No, that's what I thought. Okay.
I don't know who she is.
The Rocketeer.
I just think she has black hair and puffy lips, right?
Yes.
Puffy lips.
Where have I seen her from, Carolyn?
I'm trying to think of what else you would have seen her
Was she
in.
in Labyrinth?
I think she was Labyrinth.
Oh,
she's the gal from Labyrinth.
Something I have.
She is. She's Sarah in Labyrinth.
She's Labyrinth. Yeah.
In 1986.
That's
Oh
where
my God,
I know her
just aged
from.
myself, but that's okay. I'm like, why?
And that's where I knew her from too. I was like,
the older sister that plays Winona. That's the only reason I think of her. 1986. I was freaking 10 years old, and I just thought of Jennifer Connelly. Okay.
Yep. That's where I knew her from, was Labyrinth.
Let's see. Jennifer
What has she been in lately that I would know her from?
Top Gun Maverick.
No, because I didn't watch it. Did I not explain to you? I don't like Tom Cruise.
She is in Snowpiercer, which I only watched like a couple
Never
of
even heard of that.
She was the voice of the suit in Spider-Man Homecoming.
Yeah.
Is that the animated version?
No.
Okay, look.
I haven't watched
I don't know what Snowpiercer is.
It's the train that runs around in a dystopia. But this was the TV series.
It's on TNT Network. I don't know if you've seen it.
19 episodes she was in.
I only watched one or two of them. It looked interesting, but didn't pique my interest.
Well, I'll stick with the Labyrinth.
Labyrinth.
Actually, she reminds me of the girl that played. Did either one of you ever see the show Merlin?
Yes. I loved that show.
I did too, right?
That was a good show.
She played Guinevere. No, not Guinevere.
I don't know. I'd have to look up Merlin. I don't know.
She played the sorceress.
Oh.
You just said her thing.
Oh crap! You're gonna make me forget.
John Hurt was in Merlin? Okay.
Merlin was underrated. I'm just telling you.
Oh, totally underrated. Such a good show. I loved it.
Angel Goulby as Gwen, Katie McGrath as Morgana. Is that who you're thinking?
Morgana. And then the guy that played King. Oh my goodness, he was so cute. And that's coming from a gay woman. I'm just saying he was cute.
I
can't remember his name at the moment, but
I'm not seeing King Arthur on the.
He plays Arthur. It's in.
I'm looking for Arthur Bradley James.
Bradley James. My goodness, that man, his jawline. Anyways, Katie McGrath. Katie McGrath, who the next thing I saw her in was Supergirl.
Mm-hmm.
She reminds me of Jennifer Connelly.
Lena Luthor. She actually did really good. So I wasn't the biggest Supergirl fan at all because of everything that they did with that thing. But she was, and I had a problem not with her acting, but how they were treating her character. She played the character very well.
Wouldn't she
Lena Luthor.
Luthor, yeah. His sister, right?
Yeah.
She played it really well. I really liked her character.
So also, Shannon, I know your husband really likes this little series called John Wick, right?
Yeah.
Well, he likes it.
Yeah. Yeah.
There was an offshoot TV series called The Continental, and she played the adjudicator in 3 of those episodes.
I'm sure he's seen it.
I have not.
I have not.
I mean, if you like guns.
But does she remind you of Jennifer Connelly a little bit?
Yeah, a younger Jennifer Connelly. I can see that. Yeah.
That's who I thought of.
Faces are your friend. I got it.
Hey, it's what I do. It's what I do's because it's been law enforcement. So long, law enforcement. Couldn't say names, but I could do faces.
You know what Carolyn's friend is?
Tell me. Stitch. What?
Moats.
Oh.
Moats?
I really hope there's a moat. I love moats. I'm going to go look for a moat.
As I quietly step away from you. Yep.
As she quietly steps out of the room so that Pete and his ex-wife can talk. Amanda. It's Amanda, right?
I really like how mature that Pete is all about when he's with her. right?
Mhm.
Because he's trying to show her the new
That he's
side of him,
grown.
right? Except for when she's like, your uncanny ability to turn into a 12-year-old boy, right? How do you do that? But of course, that was the old Pete, the original Pete showing through. But still, his whole maturity level changes. And that's what freaks Michael out, because I'm like, I don't know who this person is. But even when he's a goofball with Micah, he's trying to show his ex-wife, Amanda, that he is
Yep.
a changed person.
Yeah, and the shorthand that Micah and Pete have too, even through this episode, is kind of fun. They're like, "Oh, I found it! I've saved the wedding. Watch out! You're gonna want to cover your eyes."
It did spark. It just wasn't that big of a spark.
Yeah, it didn't spark enough.
Well, it was a itty bitty bee.
It wasn't itty bitty bee. And
I like the concept of the idea of it.
Yeah, except for the whole protecting you from yourself thing, and then killing everybody around you.
Well, I love how they just like grabbed his parents.
Oh my god, that was so funny.
You don't even know where they're taking him. I don't know, but just do something with him. Keep him away from me.
See the parents at the end during the ceremony. They're just like.
And then Pete's all, yeah, there was a problem with the wedding party. They all had mushrooms, and they were bad mushrooms. It was a bad mushroom trip. We're really sorry.
That was a cute line. How they're trying to explain it to him. You can just look at their face like, I don't know what just happened. I don't know what just happened.
You're like, you're still marrying this woman?
The castle that they got married in was actually already in Warehouse 13. It was in the episode Age Before Beauty. Remember, we were talking about it at the time? It was in Toronto, and they were out on the terrace at that point in time. Now they're inside.
It was. I thought it looked familiar.
Mm-hmm.
Age Before Beauty. Well, where she turned old?
Yes, where she turned old. I also like the part where they were still trying. So Jinx and Claudia are trying to find Ulysses S. Grant's flask in this Civil War reenactment, and they're talking to a guy who is completely beat up, like more than he should be. He's actually beat up, and they're talking to him, and then this rebel comes up and he shoots Claudia, and he says, "You're dead." And Jinx shoots him and is like, "Oh yeah, well you're dead now." And he shoots him, and the guy falls to the ground. He's like, "Hey, you have to die too. We didn't cut these trees up and make them look authentic. Do you know how much that costs? You're dead." And then Jinx she's like, okay, don't get your long johns in a bunch. And as she's leaving, Jinx is like, "So if you're dead, does that mean you're still the senior agent?"
As she walks away, no.
And she's like, "Just go find Johnson," which is the guy that apparently has the Ulysses S. Grant flask.
Yep.
Which causes them to act like an actual Ulysses S. Grant and thinks he's still in the war.
Right. So I got a question for either you two. Do either you two have a PBJ sandwich for me right now? Can you pull that out?
I can pull it out of the freezer.
No, sorry.
No.
It's called Uncrustables.
Not where I want it pulled out from.
Sorry, I got nothing for you. There's nothing out. Nope.
Can you imagine, think for a second, can you imagine if your job is to look for a flask and there's hundreds of people walking around this field and each one of them have a flask? Can you imagine? I'd be like, okay, everybody stop. Time out.
What did she say? It was like looking for a flask in a hayfield, or she said something that was funny. Let's go look for this flask in a hayfield or something like that.
I'm telling you, those two have the best lines. I like how Micah and Pete operate together, and how Mike is always keeping Pete on his toes and keeping him in check. But the fun party is over there with Jinxie and Claudia. Fool, we the second A team, right? I mean, it's just
They haven't actually said that quote yet.
I know that,
I keep
but
looking
I keep
for
saying it because it's so awesome.
It's such a great quote.
Dude, that should be your mini drag name. Mini Tesla.
She's like, "Isn't this great? I made a mini Tesla. It's my own design." She just designed a mini Tesla, because
again, one of those things that the warehouse lets her do.
Mm-hmm. She pulls it out because she changes into the female dress costume, and saves Jinx from imminent danger because she's like, "Would you wouldn't harm a lady?"
Little Miss. No,
And then
wouldn't
she
say.
pulls a
No, I
mini
wouldn't. I'd never
Tesla,
harm a woman,
pulls a mini Tesla out of her front end.
but I will.
Right.
Yeah.
That's actually my favorite scene because not only does she pull out the Tesla, not only do we get the Star Trek time travel reenactment reference there, but we also get Jinx and he played it so well. He was just looking off at her and then into the distance there. And he was like, Aaron Ashmore here as Steve Jinx. And he was like, "Oh, you just reminded me of my sister." And then she wanted to go balls to the wall with it and wanted to know everything about the sister. And he's like, "No, we she's dead." And then there was the awkward moment and stuff like that.
Why do I always do that with you?
That was my favorite scene of the whole episode. There was a bunch of good scenes, but that was my favorite one. It was the most heartfelt one, other than the one that they actually talk about Olivia later.
I think other than all of those that we've already mentioned, I think one of my favorite scenes, one of my favorite parts is watching Artie at the very end. He's just listening to him. He's just listening to his agent become closer, becoming more like family. And he sees that, he's a proud dad, basically, because they were like brother and sister, have how easily and how quickly Jinx assimilated into the group.
Mm-hmm. I think another favorite scene is the wedding when it's actually happening. Her dress is all torn up. One of the groomsmen's missing a tooth. The other one has a bandage all over his head, and the other one has like a big old bruise under his eye. And the maids of honor are all like wrangled and mangled, and it's because they all just had a fight because they were going to mummify the fiance in order to save their pharaoh. What cracked me up was Artie on cough syrup too, and he was talking about this pharaoh Hatshepsut. Can't even say it. And Michael was like, "Bless you," and he's like, "No, that's not a sneeze. That was her name." And then he sneezed, and she goes, "You were talking about her?" He's like, "No, that was actually a sneeze."
No wonder you can't say it. Just say "bless you."
Yeah, exactly.
Achoo.
You got these Marines that are all bandaged and banged up, and they look like Marines. They're supposed to look like that. And talking about Marines, by the way, when she sees them and they see her, they're like, "Amanda." They're enlisted. She's a major in the Marines. Very rarely have I seen that sort of commonality between a field grade officer, and enlisted personnel, like hugging.
That's a no. That's a no. Even when not in uniform, you wouldn't be that way. You'd be like straight and narrow.
Very rarely have I seen that, and it is in very civilian, personal sorts of things like a wedding. But this was half military, so you don't breach that when you're in a half military. Because all the groomsmen they were
full dress uniforms.
Yeah, so you wouldn't see that there. So I'm like, that almost pulled me up. At the same time, I'm like, it's Warehouse 13, Bubba Guppies.
Bubba Guppies.
Funny part was when Pete and Micah were like, "We need to talk to you." And they start walking away, and all of the wedding party starts walking with them. And he's like, "Is this what happens when you're an officer? You have like an entourage?"
I was never
like, "No, it's the wedding party."
General officers often do have entourages. You very rarely see a general officer walking alone.
You know what else has an entourage? Neurologist. They walk around in herds. They came in herds of 3 every time they came into my room to stare at me. Like, "Oh my God, she's still alive. Are you getting this? Are you getting this, nurse? Are you getting this, doctor?" Yes, they walk around in herds.
You were a good study case. They had to study you.
Well, hopefully they took notes, because the last person they took a note was already postmortem, so it wasn't very comforting to me at all. It wasn't comforting to me. You can leave now. You can leave now.
I think another funny part was when Micah and Pete were talking to Amanda, and she's like, "Well, what are you doing here?" "We can't tell you." "Well, what do you want?" "We can't tell you that either." "Well, can you tell? Well, look, you need to know and you don't need to know. And he says, Scouts honor. She's like, you were kicked out of Scouts. He's like, I didn't start that fire.
And Mike is like, what? Have you not told me?
Yeah, Micah's like, I need all the dirt, woman. You and I need to be stalking.
Micah and Amanda would be friends.
Yes. So the dialogue, since you're pointing out a lot of Pete's stuff here, it was written by Holly Harold. Only has 10 writing credits since 2003, 10 episodes of Smallville, and then 6 episodes of Warehouse 13. This is the first, so we get her dialogue 5 more times.
Good. I liked it.
It's probably all Pete's dialogue, too.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Claudia had some, and Jinx had some. I think it was spread out, and even Micah had, like, the whole moat thing. That was Micah.
How does that work? How do you think that works? Do you think they have a writer for each character?
No, it's just one writer for the whole thing. That's Holly.
Nice.
Yeah. It was also directed by a notable director, Jeremiah S. Chechnik. And I probably pronounced the name incorrectly. I didn't have time to check it before.
Considering they're Canadian, it's probably a little French.
Maybe. 38 directing credits starting in 1988.
Wow.
You two are going to laugh at this first one. 1988 music video, Van Halen, When It's Love.
No way.
Yes, way. The second one you're going to love too. The 1989 movie, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Oh my goodness.
I just saw that this past Christmas, and I remembered exactly why I haven't seen it since then.
Hey, Clark, cheers, full. He also did the 1998 movie, The Avengers. It has nothing to do with Marvel whatsoever, but 1998 movie, The Avengers. 2 episodes of Being Human, 1 episode of Warehouse 13. Unfortunately, this is the only episode that he actually directed. 8 episodes of a series that I enjoyed, Burn Notice. We talked about it before.
Yep.
5 episodes of Chuck, which...
Well, I was going to say that I watched Being Human. Yeah. That was actually a really good show. I was very sad it didn't get very much.
Which Being Human did you watch? Did you watch the UK version or did you watch the US version?
No, I think I watched the US version. I didn't watch the UK version.
Okay, I'm not the one with the tornado coming, but yet I froze. I'm literally doing nothing.
I was saying that I watched that show Being Human, and it was really good. It was the US version. I didn't know there was a UK version.
Human. Who's in that?
It was the vampire and the werewolf.
No, that wasn't the Being Human I was thinking of.
Were you thinking of Human?
A vampire, wolf, and a ghost, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
And there was a UK version, and then there was.
Then I was thinking of that. Maybe that was something called something else. So the one I'm thinking of was like a cop in the future, and it had a robot.
You're thinking of, I think it was Human, and I think it's an Australian series.
I don't think so.
All right, you're going to go find that, and I'm going to finish this list here.
Don't give me lying.
5 episodes of Chuck, 6 episodes of Helix, which we discussed earlier, and then 1 episode of a comic book show called The Gifted. It was about the next generation of mutants. It was on Fox.
I loved that show.
You did? Why? Why?
Finally, a Marvel thing that I could tell you. I loved that series. Well, it had Amy, I can't remember her name.
I watched that.
She was in Point of Interest.
Amy Acker.
Thank you. And it Amy, who is also Micah's sister. Have we seen that episode yet?
No, we have not.
Spoiler
alert. Amy Acker plays Micah's sister. Anyways.
Is that why you liked, what was that, Point of Interest? Is that why because of Amy or Sasha? Sarah Sahi.
Interest. That was Person of Interest.
Not Point of Interest. Yeah,
Person of Interest.
Person of Interest.
But I like a Sasha too.
She's on the list, I think.
She is.
Yeah.
Is Amy on your list?
Jamie?
Amy Acker.
No.
Okay, she's not on my list either. She's nice, but not on my list. I think
She's
she
pretty.
actually did some. Didn't she do some Hallmark stuff? I think she did.
More than likely.
Would not surprise me. But she plays the mom on that series. I don't know. I like the whole story behind how it's the next generation of mutants. And it's the same kind of topic where you have the government trying to chase you down. I mean, it's still X-Men. I liked watching X-Men.
She
I
did.
didn't mind that show. It was pretty good.
Amy Acker in 2016, A Nutcracker Christmas.
I knew it. They all eventually go towards the Hallmark Channel.
I mean, I've even seen Roger Cross in a bunch of Hallmark movies. So.
It doesn't always do good for them. I mean, like, Catherine Bell, because the one who used to play on Jag. She did The Good Witch on the Hallmark Channel forever.
I like that series. That was such a good series.
And then my girl, Catherine Burrell, went on it after Winona. They made her character gay, and the whole thing tanked. So not everything on the Hallmark Channel is always a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fair.
But then you have Shifting Gears, and she did good in that one.
She did do that. That was good. I like
She was so cute.
We did discuss the fact that they're actually remaking that, and Kat Dennings
series,
is
right?
going to be on it. Yeah, Kat Dennings and Tim Allen are going to be on there.
I love Kat Dennings.
Yeah.
That woman right there, I'm telling you, she was seriously underrated also. The way she can throw back that sarcasm and make it look so believable, I loved her. Loved her.
Yeah. I just wanted to confirm that Kat Dennings is joining Tim Allen in Shifting Gears. It's going to be a comedy on ABC. I will watch that.
What was the guy? Who was the guy?
Tim Allen?
That one? Tim Allen and her together?
Tim the Tool Man?
Yeah.
Tim the Tool Man Taylor?
Yeah.
Yeah, him, and he did the other one, Last Man Standing, and then
I love that show. I love it. I love the show.
Plays the spaceman in the Toy Story.
Yeah, Buzz Lightyear.
Buzz Lightyear?
Yeah, Buzz Lightyear, yeah.
Spaceman.
To infinity and beyond!
Buzz.
Kat Dennings.
All right, so Shannon, you said that this was one of your top 5, and I'm not going to ask you to go over the top 5 at all, but I was thinking very hard before we podcasted, and I have slotted Queen for a Day in position 6.
Nice.
So it's my 6th one. I couldn't get it up any higher, and it's right above Buried, which is, I know, a good one for you with H.G. Wells. But my number 1 was the last episode that we did, Love Sick. Then Time Will Tell, which was the premiere of season 2, the finale of season 1, McPherson, and then the season 3 premiere, New Guy, and then Claudia, number 4. I just can't move Claudia. She is that episode where she comes in, season 1, episode 4, Claudia. It is a Hallmark episode, not Hallmark, but it's, stalwart. Yeah. And then Queen for a Day. I had to. Claudia is above Queen for a Day. It had to be that.
Because you, like me, I think you put character development episodes, right? Like Claudia being introduced, right?
Yeah. World building, character development. Yeah.
I mean, obviously, I like some of them are just because they're Barry Wells, obviously. But like the last, or maybe the second last episode in this season, I can't remember the name of them.
Of which this season?
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll find out.
Emily Lake, and I think there's one that's called Stand.
The Greatest Gift is the Christmas episode. The final, though, is Stand, which is the last one. Yeah.
Emily Lake and Stand are, to me, that is where the writing, the acting, the story, that is when, to me, Warehouse 13 hit its peak. I loved everything about the storyline for that. So we'll talk about that obviously when we get there. But including those two, I liked what did I say against? No. I forgot the name of the episodes. I know
Emily Lake and Stand.
Okay, those two. What's the one I liked? Where is it? Against All Odds? No.
Have we seen it?
Yeah, we've already seen it where he thinks he's hallucinating, thinking that Valde is after them.
Oh,
I want to say Around the Bend.
Yeah, Around the Bend. I like that one. I like where the Griffin and the Lion switched.
oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's one of my favorite ones.
Merge with Caution.
Merge with Caution.
Merge with Caution.
Yeah, these are to me. I think their character. I like. I just like. That's just me. I like the Micah and Pete moments until they screw you later on, but that's okay.
That's later. We don't have to talk
That's
about
later. My blood pressure's still low at the moment. You just wait until I get there.
I had Merge with Caution as the number 10 right now, so it's not too far behind, but Around the Bend is really low, and we talked about that reason why we differed at the time. But yep.
I also like the one from first season where we had the metallic thing on his back, spine.
Yeah. Burn Notice, I think. The Burn Notice. No, that wasn't Burn Notice. Burnout.
Because that's the first time we see the induction into the previous warehouse agents.
Yep. I really dislike that one. That was my second from the bottom, and it hasn't moved since we threw it on here. I mean, they're all good. So me saying dislike, it's just not. It was not my favorite. Obviously,
it's not one you'll go back and rewatch, is what you're saying.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
So, did either of you two get any feedback this past week? Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Yes, you did.
Yeah,
did we?
Shannon, you got that message from somebody on your DMs on Twitter that you sent us last week
about the
I sent you?
Yes, about the artifact.
Look here, y'all got to quit playing with brain victims, okay? No.
Okay, you received a DM, I believe, and
from David. Okay,
yeah.
Look, you can't just nudge, wink me. You got to spell it out because I don't remember this stuff anymore.
That's why I showed you the picture.
Thank you. And the moment you did it, I'm like, yes, okay. Yeah, David sent me a DM talking about how he has the actual artifacts that they used for the props from that episode of what we watched. Was it the new guy? No,
Lovesick last week.
Lovesick.
Yeah.
So I thought that was the coolest thing because I have a lot of props from Defiance that I went and took. Remember, Jamie signed like 11 things for me that day. So I wish that I was around and aware of Warehouse 13 before. Right. I mean, I came in at the end of the 4th season. I didn't even know about it. So, and then I started loving it.
You are the show killer.
So I missed a lot of props.
You are the show killer.
Stop saying that.
It's true. It's true. So true. Shannon comes into a series. For those that don't know, for those that this is the first time you're listening to Shannon, she will come into a show either the second to last or last season. She will love it and it'll get canceled. She is the show killer.
Yeah, that's true.
Even
sad but true, because it happened to Winona too. You weren't going to get into it. You weren't going to do it. Then you watched it and you loved it, and then they canceled it.
Happened to Defiance. Yeah,
Defiance, Warehouse, Timeless.
Damn it, Shannon, stop watching my fun shows.
Yeah, your fault with Timeless is you guys started with episode 1 and you started podcasting on it. Yeah, that doomed it from the get-go.
But we do appreciate David sending that feedback, and that's very cool that he actually owns the juggling balls from that episode. That's amazing.
WC Feels juggling balls, the box, and a certificate of authenticity.
That's cool. I would have loved to own some things from a show. I looked at things from The Expanse too, and I was like, that's way out of my budget. There's no way I can afford anything. Maybe a toothpick that somebody used on the show.
I didn't buy the props that I got from Defiance. One of the guys that I used to follow on here that I played the game with, he auctioned it and he bought it. And then he sent it to me and I didn't even know it. Same as he went to one of the cons and got me an autograph from Two Boss, right? I didn't even know it. It was awesome. So I came in, I want to say I started Twitter about the same time that I discovered Warehouse 13 because I found a fan group that I still Well, that's kind of disbanded now. It's been so many years. But that was this woman that I was talking to. She had just won the blue shirt that Jamie was wearing in that episode where the rustlers were being combusted,
Mhm.
right? That shirt in the brown overcoat, they had
Yeah.
won that in the auction. I was like, that's pretty freaking. Somebody won the truck from Winona Earp. I'm like, put it
Ooh.
all back because now it's coming back.
I wanted the microphones from Defiance, but they were going for like $1,500, $2,000. I was like, that is too steep for me.
Yeah.
There was like 3 or 4 microphones from the radio station at the top of the arch. I wanted those, and I couldn't.
Yeah.
Like, I don't mind doing a couple $100 if I have it, but I ain't going that crazy.
I actually have won a couple of cool things from Dark Matter when I was live tweeting. I got a script. I don't remember from which episode, but I got a script from one of the episodes and everybody signed it. That was pretty darn cool.
Did you also do that from Continuum?
No, I didn't get one from Continuum, but
Yeah,
I did get from Continuum. I did get the jumpsuit that
you did a set tour for that show, didn't you?
I did do a set tour for that too.
Amazing.
Yeah. I got to meet Rachel and Victor. Omari Newton and Luvia Peterson actually came on set so where the precinct is that big building that looks like it's got spikes and stuff. That's where we met. And they came there to meet us. They weren't on set that day, but they came to meet us because we were such big fans. Me, Rich, my friend from London, Paul, who's a guy from New Jersey or Philadelphia. He's in Philadelphia.
Jersey, Philadelphia. It's all the same.
It's the same thing. And Steph, who's actually in your neck of the woods, SP. And there was one more person, Lisa, but I think she was from Toronto. And we all met up and had our set visit that day. So we got to see the precinct. And then we got to watch them film a part of the show that we saw later. We all had to sign an NDA that we weren't going to talk about the scene. It was really cool to watch. And then we actually got to meet Simon Barry, the creator and director of the show. And I didn't get to meet him, but Paul was there earlier, and Ryan Reynolds was actually on set, but I didn't get to meet him.
Why was he on set?
Before. Huh?
Why was he on set?
Because he was in it. Not Ryan Reynolds. Ryan, what is Ryan's last name? It's not Ryan Reynolds.
From Continuum?
Yes.
Yeah, definitely not Ryan Reynolds.
It's not Ryan Reynolds. I'm sorry. I got the wrong Ryan.
I watched that whole thing. Matter of fact,
yeah.
Shannon and I actually podcasted a few of the last episodes there.
Of Continuum?
Mm-hmm. We did on Voices of Defiance.
I don't remember that. I have to go back and listen. Would have to. I mean, I listened to all of your podcasts, obviously, because
Ryan Robbins.
I know you guys from Ryan Robbins. See, I was close.
Oh,
he was on set.
Sanctuary. He went to Sanctuary.
He did.
He went to Sanctuary.
Or maybe he came from Sanctuary to do that. I can't remember.
No, I think Sanctuary was after Continuum.
Said the woman with the gun to the vampire, which is the best line ever.
So I got to meet some amazing people from that and see Vancouver. I'd never seen Vancouver, BC, so that was really cool. But I also have the jumper, the jail jumpsuit for somebody. I can't remember, but I won that too, which was kind of cool.
So Carolyn, I hate to be the disappointing factor here, but Sanctuary ran from 2008 to 2011.
Oh, okay. So it was before.
And then Continuum ran from after that.
It was so long ago. I don't remember things. I remember it was 2015 when I did this, because then I went to Dragon Con that same year and saw a lot of the people that I got to see on set. Omari and Victor.
Continuum only ran from 2012 to 2015. Wow.
Yes, they were filming that last season that we all basically saved the show. There was a bunch of us that tweeted the crap out of the network And they finally relented and gave us an ending. It wasn't a great ending. It was kind of like Warehouse 13. You only got like 6
did you do that
episodes or
for?
something.
Which show did you do that for?
Continuum.
Oh.
Yeah.
To me, that was another show that was underrated.
It was. Totally underrated. Really good show.
My girl, Rachel Nichols, was,
She's on your list.
Yeah, she's on my list. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
meet her in person. I got to get my picture with her and everything.
I got to start doing cons with you. See all the cool people.
It did. Sanctuary ran from, I just want to make sure. Yeah, 2008 to 2011.
Yeah.
They only had like 3 seasons each, those shows back then. I think it had to do, I'm not sure. No, this is 4 seasons. I think it had to do with the fact that the contracts for the actors went up with the SAG agreement. They go up after a certain amount of seasons. And they just couldn't afford. So that's why you see a lot of actors dropping off a series, because the series just simply can't afford to have you around for another season, because by the SAG, your salary has to go up by X amount, either percentage or dollar amount or whatever. I don't know if it's minimum salary. I don't know too much about it, but I do know if you make a certain number of seasons, whether it's 3, 4, or 5, I don't know what the agreement is, then you start making more money at the end.
I think it's on the 4th season is when they start making money, which is why I made the comment earlier. You normally get 3 and done, because anything after that, I mean, that's the whole reason they got rid of BSG, right? Because coming back, they were going to have to pay Jamie Bammer and Katie Sackhoff and Trisha something.
Helfer.
And those are the 3 people they were going to pay the most for. So they just decided just to cut it all together. So,
which was quietly added to Amazon Prime, by the way.
I saw that. Today, actually.
I only had the time to watch that.
Right?
And Carolyn, you still have to watch Orphan Black, so don't be diverting. All right.
I know.
So was there any more feedback that you guys didn't tell me about?
I didn't have anything else.
Okay.
I didn't remember that one to begin with.
All right.
It's okay, I got that
Excuse
one.
me, David. It's brain injury. It's the brain injury. I don't always remember.
Right.
Short term is gone.
It's catching.
I've been short circuited.
So we're going to take a couple weeks off because I got to be somewhere and then Shannon's got to be somewhere. You're only going to get 1 week off from the show, though, hopefully, because we've got a couple episodes stacked up. So there's going to be 1 week after you see this or listen to this. There's only going to be 1 week in between. And then we're going to come back. And we're going to come back with Warehouse 13, Season 3, Episode 5. 3, 2, 1.
Jamie.
So the same question, Shannon. We have tvguide.com description, Amazon Prime Video description, or IMDb. So you're going with Amazon. Here we go.
Amazon it is.
3 generations of warehouse agents have unsuccessfully been able to retrieve Joshua's trumpet, an artifact that has vaporized 3 separate victims and is about to pulverize a packed baseball stadium. Pete Micah and H.G. Wells discover one of the victims' sons is in possession of the artifact, but will they be able to convince him that launching the rocket won't bring his father back?
Dun, dun, dun.
Cows. I just say it starts off with the 50s music and cows. That's all I say. That's what I remember about that episode.
Another cow. Actually, I think that's the same one.
Twister. I got it that time.
Same cow. It's the same cow.
I actually watched that. I had it on loop, and I watched it about 10 times after we brought it up last time. It's Bill Paxton, Helen Hunt, and a bunch of other actors that you will recognize are in that film.
But you don't need to be watching it tonight since there's an impeding. Is it still coming towards you?
No, it's now passed. It passed us while we're doing it. I saw, which is why it was okay podcasting tonight. I saw one of the storm cells go to the north and one go to the south, and we were kind of splitting in the middle, even though it was kind of sporty out there. I saw a lot of lightning. I didn't really hear a lot of thunder, but the
headphones,
noise reduction headphones here. So yeah. Anyway, that's what we're going to be doing next time. I'm really looking forward to it. We have about 3 weeks to prepare our remarks. So it's going to be a really good show. So stay tuned for the next episode.
They're all really good shows. What do you mean?
Ever since episode 1, and really good.
They're really good.
I mean, better than the last one.
It's just 3 people having a fun conversation about geeking out about their favorite shows. You know,
that's right.
And their favorite lines.
We talk about other shows that we geek out about. It's great. I love it.
So if you want to give us feedback,
wait, there was no food in this one.
Okay.
I didn't see any food.
If you want to give us feedback, you can go ahead and you can DM Shannon on her Twitter account, apparently, which is...
Perhaps you should DM Carolyn.
So,
okay. She'll have a brain injury or doesn't have problems with
it.
Yeah.
Huh?
As long as
you
share
it right away. Yeah.
Yeah, but see, you're right. I'll share it, but then I don't remember getting it. And it's David, I love you, man. Don't take it personally. I can't even remember what I did for breakfast yesterday.
Thank you, David, so much. We really appreciate that. That was really cool to not only get the picture, but know that the artifact still exists today. That is so cool, David.
Yeah, that was really neat.
If you want to send us an email, you can send it to warehouse13fancast. That's 13, warehouse13fancast at gmail.com, warehouse13fancast at gmail.com. All right, ladies, it's getting to the point where I got to go to bed because I got to go to work in the morning. You got anything else?
No, I'm good. 3, 2, 1's coming.
All right.
I need to find out where Artie hid those mini marshmallows.
Because I'm really hungry for them. Until next time, I'm the Janitor SP.
Sci-Fi Girl.
Promotion 363. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for joining us for an episode of the Artie's Attic Warehouse 13 Fancast. You can find all our episodes at warehouse13fancast.com. If you'd like to contact us, you can hit us up on our email at warehouse13fancast@gmail.com. We are a part of the Lone Wolf Podcast Network. You can hear more of this cast and other shows like it by checking out lonewolfpodcasts.com. The intro music is Sci-Fi Hybrid Intro by Soundmake, and the outro music is Science Fiction by Tunes to Go. Both were purchased on pond5.com.
How was the rain down there? Did you guys get a lot too? Because I saw Houston's flooding.
It rained heavily. Past 3 weekends in a row. It's rained heavily. I just want to be able to wash my Jeep, which I haven't been able to do since we went to the Renaissance Festival. So it's full of
that's
mud.
what the rain's for.
No, I mean in the inside.
Oh.
We had to wear rain boots that day. Because it's an outdoor festival. It's nothing but sloshes of mud. So, and then because it rained so hard, the entire 4 hours we were there, we were soaked all the way to the bone. We all changed clothes in the Jeep. Because I wasn't going to drive an hour and a half home in wet, sloshy stuff.
Yeah, no, that's no fun. You all right there, SP?
Yeah, I'm seeing lightning on my outdoor cameras, and I was just waiting for the thunder.
Why don't we skip this one?
Yeah, let's do it.
Wait, huh?
Let's do it. I'm looking at the radar. We should be fine.
Mini Tesla.
Mini Tesla. That's your new stripper name.
Okay, give me the poll.
Let's go then. Let's go. Let's see how much we can get. Because if you need a run, by all means, run.
All right, here we go. 3, 2.